Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. Today, Jon Gaunt TV says this: Keir Starmer was saved by Labour chickens. Boop, 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 boop. They were clearly looking after themselves. Just like turkeys, chickens don't vote for Christmas. What an affront to democracy was that whole charade, that whole escapade. And already it's fallen to bits because Keir Starmer now is Prime Minister in name only. He's got no power. He has to do what the left-wing backbenchers want. Otherwise, they'll threaten him with this again. What we experienced yesterday in the UK was pathetic. And anyway, Starmer's got to go. He won't survive the by-election at the end of the month, which again, he's tried to gerrymander by not allowing Andy Burnham to stand. Then, of course, there's the elections in May. It'll be a wipeout, an absolute wipeout. Admit it, you are finished. This show's earlier than normal, but please feel free to join in. It's Gaunty now with you for the next half hour or so. So while I show you why Starmer is finished, make no mistake, the MSM, the mainstream media, are trying to portray this as MPs backed him. Well, number one, they weren't just MPs. They were Labour MPs. It was a mutiny. He shut them up. He shut them up by basically saying to them, okay, and look at the timeline if you don't believe me, we'll have a general election. A general election immediately, a snap election, which meant that all of those lick-spittle no-marks who got elected when he had that massive, which we've got to say it was, a massive landslide victory, would be out of work. So, would those turkeys vote for Christmas? No, they're chickens and they're not voting for Christmas. That's why they applauded him. That's why he got their backing. It's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. The cabinet and those MPs were not showing support for Starmer. They were showing they didn't want their snouts removed from the trough. They are self-serving pigs. This country needs a general election, not tomorrow, but yesterday. And when I add this into you, please bear with me, because I think Starmer is leading almost a coup, because he's still not released the documents that explain how that vetting process for Mandelson, friend of the nonce, was made. He promised last week that we were going to know the facts. That's how he got out of his last scrape, by saying he will find out who released it, what the vetting process was. Since then, silence on that matter. This is a conspiracy, because now he tells ministers they mustn't do a West Streeting. No, not that. He says, because West Streeting yesterday, well, first thing this morning, released all his text messages between Mandelson, and himself. But today, in an emergency cabinet meeting this morning, Starmer said, don't release any more to everybody in the cabinet. Why? Well, he says it might prejudice any police investigation into Mandelson. What's that smell? Yes, it's the smell of bullshit, but not only that, it's stale bullshit, because this is the trick he tried to play last week when it first all came out, which again, I remind you, he's not told us what the vetting process was. How did best mate of one of the worst paedophiles, and today some of the Epstein files have been released again, it was girls as young as 9. How come he thought It was okay to ignore MI5, MFI, M whatever they are, who are bloody useless. How could he ignore their advice and appoint Mandelson? He's not released that information because it'll point the finger clearly at him and it'll be, oh, well, some paedophilia is okay. Let me state my point of view. Paedophilia is never okay. There isn't a grade, a division of paedophilia. I'd make all the bastards swing from the nearest lamppost. But Starmer is covering something up. I don't know what. He obviously made the rash decision to give Mandelson that job. It's all fallen apart, and now it's beginning to stink like a cover-up. Why has he told all his ministers, oh, it might cause a problem with the police investigation? We know how these things go. It'll be years before Mandelson, if ever, is in a court of law. We need to know now what our government ministers were saying to the friend of the paedophile. Now, do you agree or disagree? Put a comment in the comment box and tell me where you stand on all of this. But Starmer is in a desperate attempt to cover this up. Sue me! Sue me, Starmer! I've got fuck all, but come and sue me. Come on. Because you are a disgrace. You made those MPs vote for you yesterday because they don't want to lose their jobs. 90-odd thousand pound, all the expenses they can choke to death on, all the rest of it. They haven't got a spine, just like you. And I would say this if you were a Conservative or a Reform Prime Minister. We have an absolute right to know what's going on. But it's clear what Starmer's doing. And he's also trying to play the victim. Look at him in the back of the car there yesterday. So please, if you'd like to join in on this Jon Gaunt show, write something in the box. If you disagree with me, feel free. Press the like button. But you won't get this anywhere else. They'll still be going on about, oh, why do you think they backed him? They backed him because they were shit scared. They didn't want to lose their jobs. They've got a comfy, cozy number for the next 4 years. Are you with me or are you against me? What's happened is an absolute affront to democracy. Starmer is turning or trying to turn into a dictator. Disagree? Come on then. Write up a comment and tell me. Because let's get this straight. Right from the off, as Kevin Rowland would say in Dexys. Keir Starmer hasn't survived yesterday because Labour believes in him. He survived because Labour MPs panicked. Faced with a snap general election that would have wiped out their jobs, their pensions for life, and indeed their futures, they folded fast. The documents that Starmer promised on the Mandelson veteran, we still haven't had them released. You've got to ask why. And I've read today as well, in the Epstein files, they're redacting, they're blocking out more stuff so that we, the common people, can't know what our so-called leaders have been up to. And then some people say to me, oh, yeah, but you support Trump, you support this. Nigel Farage is mentioned. I say, shine the spotlight on all of it. Farage is mentioned. But is it in a negative way? He'd be mentioned because of Steve Bannon. But does that make Steve Bannon guilty? No. I'm fed up of this drip, 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 which implies everybody was up to it. Maybe they were. Let's know. And we could start by finding out if you were the director of public prosecutions. Jimmy Savile never came across my desk. Well, if that's the case, Starmer, and you are so good at forensically looking at situations, why didn't you do that with Mandelson? Why did you give him Mr. Ambassador? You didn't just give him the box of Ferrero Rocher or whatever they're called. You gave him the whole fucking sweet shop. Why won't you release these papers? Why are you blacking out and redacting stuff that relates to British politicians? And why are you now telling your ministers, don't do what Wes Streeting's done? And as I understand it, he's released all of his communication with Mandelson. He says, don't do that. Don't do that. No texts, no evidence, and therefore no transparency. Because it might prejudice the police trial. What utter garbage. This isn't about unity. This is becoming a story about a cover-up of maybe the most horrendous industrial scale crime in world history. Rich and powerful men, and don't think it's just girls, because it's becoming increasingly evident if your perversion was boys, they could be supplied as well. When I say perversion boys, I don't mean people who are homosexuals or perverts. You understand what I mean. This needs to be answered. So one simple question. Was Starmer saved by his brilliant leadership yesterday? Because I think at about 2:30, he looked like he was doomed. He then obviously got them in and said, okay, we'll have a snap general election. He then instructed every member of the cabinet to release texts supporting him. You can see the texts. You do yours at this time. You do yours at this time. They all said the same thing, that Starmer was wonderful. What if he was so wonderful? Why did you want to finish his career at 9:30 in the morning? It's bullshit. What they suddenly realised, and I'll give Starmer this, he's clever. What they suddenly realised is they were staring down the gun of redundancy. And because of the cock-ups they've made, who would ever give them a job in the future? Kemi Badenoch is correct. We need the Mandelson emails released now. No one should be getting told not to release them. That police excuse is a complete joke, because let me remind you, and this is how the law works, Mandelson has not been charged at the moment with anything. So he's fair play. He's fair play in terms of saying, give me your correspondence. Because I'm not saying he's guilty of anything, and we'll find anything in those emails. But I'm saying, why wouldn't Starmer want them released? So was Starmer's premiership saved by pure leadership and tactical guile, or by complete and utter fear? And does it matter? Well, it does matter, because he's going to be out within a couple of weeks, because Burnham today has now put forward his agenda. Other people, there's Scottish MPs come out in support of the Scottish guy who had the balls yesterday to stand up and say we need a new Prime Minister. But the rest of them, it's trebles all round. They think they've got it. I couldn't believe the commentary at 7:30, 8 o'clock last night. Oh, yeah, everyone gave him a round of applause. And then they put up 3 or 4 MPs who just, it's as if they were drugged up. It was as if they were, well, it's a bit like Stockholm Syndrome. They'd been kidnapped and suddenly they're spouting whatever revolutionary party is holding them, their propaganda. So this is live, it's uncensored, and it starts right now. It's the Jon Gaunt Show. It's unique. There's nothing else like this on British or radio. So join in, take part, please. And as you can tell, I'm pretty fired up today. Tell all your friends I'm on early today. Get all your friends to watch. Pass the stream on. There's no problem with that. And if you like what I do, please donate. Maybe it will help pay for my court case when Starmer plucks up the balls to have his stormtroopers to knock down my door and try and stop my free speech. He's stopping everybody else's. Why not mine? I'm beginning to get a bit of a, worry about it. But I want to know what you think. And if you'd like to donate, please press the $, next to the comments on the YouTube live video and donate whatever you can afford, not what you can't afford, what you can afford. Or please go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate there. All right. Are you ready? Let's go. Fraser Ford just says hello, hello. Just switch talk radio off, says Eleanor Tail. Well, I don't blame you. Gaunty's live. You should come with Gaunty. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. What kind of show do they do? I don't know. I've not listened to that for ages. We, the normal, hardworking, honest, taxpaying Christian people, are praying every second of the day for a general election. Yeah, I'm not saying he should lose his job. I'm saying if he and those other MPs, because they were telling us last night on the telly, and they're telling us again this morning, Keir's doing a wonderful job. It's so hard. 14 years of terrible rule, which is true, but they then go on about he's doing a great job. Well, if he's doing such a great job, he's got nothing to worry about. He's going to get re-elected. It'll be another landslide, won't it? Oh, no. I've had tweets today. They're calling me far right, and I'm a fascist for saying what I'm saying. Let me just see if I can find you one. You'll laugh your duck off at this. Hold on a second. I think the phone's powered by Steam. It's just, there we are. Where is it? Because this guy, it's an absolute cracker, let me tell you. End of May, his name is. Exactly how I feel when I see any post from you and your racist capital scum, whose aim is to destabilize the democratic process of our country for your Russian backers. Oh, yeah, this is coming live. Moscow calling. And your post confirm you definitely have a mental problem. So I'm not only a commie, I'm not only in the pay of President Putin, I'm actually mentally unstable, according to this person. You definitely have a mental problem and you should seek help, as your treacherous posts confirm. Mate, I'm not the traitor. I'm not the one who forced MPs to vote in a particular way. I'm not the one locking up people after Southport for hurty words. I'm not the one telling pensioners I'm going to give them all this money and then I don't. I'm not the one wrecking farmers and livelihood and therefore creating a period of mistrust where one person committed suicide. Not me. I'm not the one who gets called a wanker at Southport and had to run away. I'm not the one hiding by constantly going on 40 trips abroad. No, I think you'll find that's Comrade Starmer, you utter prick. Fraser Ford, I live for conspiracy. Well, that's a shame. I live for beer, but that's a different issue. God, I love Gaunty, says Dave Bamford. Thank you, Dave. A landslide victory with 20% of the vote. It sums up our rubbish voting system, says Indian Joe 52. Well, to a large extent, I agree with you. But today is not the debate for the debate about PR. I agree it should change. And he didn't get a massive vote. He got less votes than Corbyn. But the point is, we've got him now. And what you should be really concentrating on is the fact that he's put out a directive. Nobody should give their emails from Mandelson to them. They shouldn't give them up. That's a cover-up. That's the very definition of a cover-up. But we're meant to believe that somehow Starmer's done wonders. And the mainstream media, they're arching an eyebrow, but they're not really saying, this is bullshit. Because it is. He forced them to vote this way. Because these people who got voted in, they never expected to get voted in, most of those Tories. Nor did the pundits think that would happen. So you telling me they're going to give up their cushy, snouts in the trough, self-serving pigs lifestyle? No, they're not. They've got another 3.5 years of it. And Starmer, he's some kind of masochist. He likes it. He loves being beaten up. Allegedly. I'm talking in metaphorical terms, of course. Of course. What makes me laugh is they expect us to believe their bullshit. If MPs are being held hostage, then so is the country. Well, that's basically what I'm alluding to, Paul Rowbottom on Facebook. If you want to comment, feel free. You can be watching live on YouTube. Don't forget to join Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. Is the best way to keep up to date with what I'm doing. Or you can be watching on Facebook. You can be watching on X or listening on one of the podcast apps. It's live everywhere at the moment, the show. But if you want these shows to continue and you want me to continue saying what I really feel and allowing you to just say what you think as well, please donate. Go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate some cash. You'll get your name on the bottom of the screen then. Loads of people are pressing the like button today. Already got 30. Thank you for that. Or alternatively, press the little $sign and donate some money via YouTube. Come on. You know it's worth the money. Tony Whitworth. Hello, Tony. Labour history. Scornful of our achievement. They think they can remove Britain's sovereignty, just as they put up Britain's taxes by stealth. They are wrong, but they're much too arrogant to resign. I think I probably agree with that. I probably agree with that. Let's move on. The clown is performing clapping seals, says Annette Clark. Oh, yeah. Keir, you're wonderful. Keir Starmer. He wants liberty and security for Ukraine. But fucking forget our bitches at Dover. Did you see over the last couple of days, another 400 to 600 have got in? Today, more rescued in the Channel. We've got to deter these people from coming. I don't want them to die in the Channel. And then if they do get here, we need to detain them and then very quickly deport them. Right, let's just move on. You just know he'll get out of this. It's a disgrace, says Dave Bamford, 85. Well, he will if people don't listen to what I'm saying or get worked up about it. I've looked at social media, and it's like people in this country nowadays, something happens, there's a little bit of a hoo-ha about it, and then everyone goes, oh, well, nothing we can do about it. Let's just carry on. No, I'm doing this show early so I can hopefully stir up a hornet's nest. And then I'm probably going to go and get roaring drunk. Because what else is there to do in the society that all politicians have created? Not just Labour. Not just Labour. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube. It's Jon Gaunt TV. Strawberry Atheist says, hello, John. Afternoon to John and all. Thank you. When do you think he'll go? Says Bam Bam. Grantham. I think he'll go when enough people make his position untenable. I mean, it was ridiculous yesterday. They had him banged to rights. He then calls in the MPs and says, okay, I'm going to go to the country now. How come somebody so disgraceful? Oh, hang on, I've forgotten one of his best lines. I never lose. He's an arrogant, jumped up. He said, I never lose a battle. Is that right, Starmer? Well, let's see what happens on whenever it is, when the by-election is on the 20th. Let's see what happens in the elections in May. He thinks he's a superhero. He thinks he's saving us from ourselves. So Bam Bam, I don't know when he's going to go. When we tell him to. Those hypocritical Labour MPs. Thank you. Kim McGee Milson says, I agree with you, John. And he's put a few claps there. Another political Starmer and Labour cover-up scandal. 99% sure the Labour Party is a massive paedophile party, all covering their own arses. Well, I don't think you can be sure that 99% of them are paedophiles, so be careful what you say. Just take a step back there. You know, I was just saying about Starmer says he's never lost a battle. If anybody sees him, could you remind him of the 15 or was it 16 U-turns he's done already? He lost the battle on winter fuel allowance, didn't he? He's lost the battle on inheritance tax for farmers, didn't he? He's lost every battle that he's joined in. The man has the Midas touch in reverse. Where are we going now? Scumbags. That sums it up. That's nice and easy. Malkster. Thank you, mate, on YouTube. Kevin Eden. Good news. Obtain your loan online. What are you sending this for? What are you sending me? A piece of junk. Right, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. He's trying to get people to sign up to whatever he's selling, loans, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ban him. There we are. Wait a minute. Delete the comment and block the user. Get lost, you scumbag. You absolute piece of scum. All right, let's move on. Spot on. Yesterday in the space of just 45 minutes, and after being silent all day, 10 Labour MPs, mainly the cabinet, suddenly decided to tweet in support of Starmer. I'm sure this was no coincidence. Well done, Jim. Of course it wasn't a coincidence. They were almost like, you know, those people who went, was it in South America? They were following a guy called Jim as well. Was it Jim Jones or John Jones? And they gave them all soup. They all drank it and died. It is like a cult. I mean, let's face it. We all know Starmer's a cult. He definitely is. But it's like he's almost brainwashed these idiots. There was a woman MP, it was late night on GB News. She was in the lobby of the Houses of Commons or Parliament. And it was just like, she was like an automaton. And she was dead posh. And it was like, it was just bullshit coming out of her mouth. But it's like all being written for them. It's so obvious. As the public could see what Mandelson is all about, of course. Craig Urquhart says, pictures off Kelvin. I don't know what that means. It's all bribery and corruption. The truth will never come out. All the time, dictator Starmer is in control. Excuse after excuse after excuse from Starmer. I just wish Starmer is good at cover-ups in running the country. Thank you, Pam. He puts more effort into the cover-ups, I tell you. He puts more effort into looking after people in Zelensky's country, doesn't he? He always supports the wrong side, in my opinion. UK video clip says, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon to you as well, but what about saying something? In Labour's manifesto, they told voters they would raise taxes by 8.5 billion. The 66.6 billion worth of tax rises is of their choice, not a necessity. He blackmailed them all into backing him. The man's a sleaze and a dictator, says Jeffrey Lee or Robbins. I understand where you're coming from, Jeffrey. Whether it's an out-and-out blackmail is a different issue, but it's certainly like putting their arm up the back. Look, there's the dole queue. There's the dole office. Have you been on the dole? You know, Mark, who I don't even know your name. This is Starmer talking to them. That's what you're facing. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call a general election. And you know what you're going to do? Lose. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write my autobiography and go off and lecture in America and make millions like every prime minister. But you're finished. That's the kind of implication. Tell me if I'm wrong. Right, 28 minutes, 35 likes, not one donation. Not good. It's not good. One tweet shouldn't cost 18 months inside. You're talking about Lucy Connolly. I agree with you, especially when she took them down. I stopped listening to talk radio when James Whale passed away. Poor old Ash. I stopped listening to it when they gave me the sack, so I haven't listened for years. Their audience figures are rubbish, aren't they? Why don't they just swallow their pride and say, Gaunty, come back? Huh? The right money, I'll be there for them. Lucy Connolly, personally, I couldn't warm to her. It doesn't retract from the ridiculous jail sentence. Actually, Strawberry, atheist, that kind of sums up what my views are on her. 18 months inside for one tweet. That's 1984, she says. I think I agree with you. Ash is all right. She then goes on to say, yeah, Ash is all right. You know who his brother is, don't you? Ash's brother is Johnny Gould, the sports guy. He's on Fix Radio now, or something, the Builders radio channel. I've got to tell you, the man's brilliant. He's just a Jewish state, because he's a Jewish lad. Podcast. It's great. Have a listen to it. It's very interesting. But he should be on mainstream radio. No chance. What is this becoming? The bloody Talk Radio Appreciation Society? Ian Collins does the lunchtime talk radio show. He's as dull as dishwater. And Starmer is still a can't. Yeah, thank you. Leanne Tail, I'll tell you a story about Ian Collins. I took his job off him when I first went to Talk Radio. Talk Sport, it was called. I was there the first day. They gave him the Evo. He went up to late nights or something. And we did the first hour. At the end of the first hour, the producer walks in with a big pile of papers. I said, what's that? Oh, they're the texts. I said, well, that's good. We got all them now. No. They're the texts for the next hour. I said, well, I don't know if there were texts or emails in those days, because it wasn't the technical age it is now. I said, what do you mean for the next hour? We haven't started. How can anybody? I haven't said anything. How can they be reacting? Oh, no, we always make them up for Ian, because you'll notice in the second hour, you won't get any calls or any reaction. Now, no disrespect to Ian. Maybe he was just fucking useless. Well, I don't know. So I said, I'll tell you what you can do. You can go and stuff those where the sun don't shine. And if I don't get any calls, you can sack me today. Now, on your trot, radio producer, I'll tell you what your job is. As Danny Baker says, a radio producer's job is just to put the calls through and tell you when the next guest is ready. Right? I don't need anything else. You certainly don't need to read the text, the emails, whatever, before you give them to me. I'll decide which ones to read out. Now, off you trot. They were actually making up. Sue me! They were actually making up text. That's how bad that show was. Didn't get any calls. Didn't have any audience, really. I think they had 400,000. I don't know. I took it to 1 million, and then they sacked me. And then one of the things they said was, we don't necessarily want your kind of listeners. I must admit, I do laugh at GB News. They're doing well, and I like it. But they go on about their figures. A local radio breakfast show gets more listeners than they get viewers. So keep everything in perspective. That's all I'm trying to say. There's another job opportunity gone. I hope Lisa's not downstairs with a ledger. She won't be happy. Our country's in such a dark place because of Starmer. We cannot buy a promised load of medals at the Winter Olympics. I tell you what, don't slag the Olympics. I've really been enjoying the Olympics. I really have been doing it. It's been a bit of a distraction, hasn't it, from everything else? No? Maybe it's just me. What's the next thing? Media blackout. EU interfered in elections to silence critics as Europe set for next migrant war. No, we're not talking about that. Tony, you want to set your own agenda, off your trot, go and get a job, go and set up your own podcast and do it over there. But I'll set the agenda here. All right, love? Thank you. Strawberry Atheist, somebody saying she's good. Fair enough. The country has been hijacked, more like, says the November man. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Who voted for these people? It's like all the woke nonsense. Who voted for that? Whoever wakes up in the morning thinking, oh, I wish we could have more cultural diversity. I really think diversity is our strength. Oh, this country is being built by immigrants. All lies. All lies. Immigrants have really helped. And it's better that it's more diverse. But not to the point that we've lost our own identity. That's ludicrous. But don't listen to me, because what was I? Hang on a minute. Don't listen to me, because I'm a Russian fascist, sexist bastard, right? But just remember, the only reason the cabinet supported Starmer yesterday and are pledging support for useless Keir Starmer is because he's threatening to call the general election. And the self-serving pigs are worried about losing their comfy lifestyles. That was my tweet yesterday. A few other people have copied it. Oh, here he is. End of May has come back. Big capitals. I don't watch GB News for the same reason I don't drink out of the toilet. Look, there he is. What a prick. How many followers has he got? 163 followers. I wonder if he realises it. Yeah, he will do, because he'll be listening, won't he? Jon Gaunt mentioned me, fat bastard fascist. Ooh, getting a little tingle in his pants. Why is GB News indulging Starmer, talking shit to a room full of citizens? Pure fantasy. Probably your renter crowd. Yeah, is he on the telly at the moment? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. You'd have to ask them why they're doing it. Starmer, being the little weasel that he is, will hang on to power, says Dockenrat, for dear life. Mark my words. He will not go quietly into the night. No, he'll be dragged out of number 10. He'll have a designer straitjacket. You know those jackets which do up round the back? Lord Alley will probably buy him, right? And they'll probably be then put him in detention and play on a loop constantly Taylor Swift, because he loves Taylor Swift. He had all the freebies, didn't he? What do you think about Maxwell? I saw her on the telly this morning taking the Fifth Amendment, saying I'm not going to say anything, but if you promise me clemency, I'll tell you about Trump and Clinton and everybody else that I know about. But she's also said Clinton and Trump are innocent. I'd be tempted to say, I will give you clemency, but come on then, tell us what you know. Because with this drip's no good, is it? Anyway, still got no donations. I'm going to stop in a minute. Ginge ain't resigned. He's shirking from home. I don't know what that means. Karma is a bitch, and truth will come out eventually. Yeah, probably Kim McGee. I'm pretty sure the Americans have plenty more to throw at his feet yet. That just might slip out. I think what's going to happen is he can say whatever he wants. He's held hostage by his backbenchers, and he's also held hostage now by the Epstein files. There's more to come, isn't there? They know that. There's more to come about Mandelson. Mandelson knew that. He said that a couple of weeks ago. Oh, there'll be more embarrassing stuff. But Starmer's meant to be our leader. Our moral leader as well. I think there's a lot more to come out about him, but let's find out. When you used to be on talk radio, interview them, never answer your question. I don't trust none of them. I don't think that's true, actually. When I was on talk radio, when I asked politicians questions, if they didn't answer them, I basically got rid of them. I was rude to them, Winston Johnson. But thanks for your comments. To be fair to the man, none of them want the job. With the elections coming up, says Mark White. Mark, you make a very good point, which I did want to mention today. Who wants to be the Prime Minister at the moment? And why didn't they make a real go for it yesterday? I think that they know they're going to be inheriting a crook of shit. People used to say that about radio. Don't go to a brand new radio station. Go in the second wave. Because they always employ loads of people and then get rid of them, and the second wave lasts longer. I don't know. Maybe it's the same sort of thing. Caesar says Starmer has started lingering on words, playing a victim again. We all know his lies and his techniques. We certainly do. Says he's deported 50,000 people, yet less than 400 of them were actually the boat migrants. Correct. Caesar saying, you mean the Kool-Aid? Yeah, that's what they drank, wasn't it, in the jungle? I'm sorry, Tony Whitworth, you're really getting on my tits. I'm not interested in a UK banking alert. I'm not talking about that today. Try and keep on the agenda if you can. You don't obviously understand how this works. He threatens the backbenchers with a general election. All of them are so absorbed with keeping their seat and not helping the country. Yeah, that's why people should be so angry about this. It's an absolute disgrace. Kevin Urquhart says, sorry, that was meant to read piss off. Kelvin the knob that posted that SH1T you've taken down. Oh, sorry, Craig. Yeah, he was trying to advertise his finance company. Yeah, we have taken it down. Thanks for your comments. UK video clubs. TalkSport late night. The game we played to get on pretending to be players. Laugh out loud. Well, not with me, you didn't. But thank you. Where am I going next? Well, that's all right. See, now, Tony, you're being a bit more sensible. Starmer helping the cost of living, lie. Economy better, lie. Waiting lists down, lie. More police, massive lie. And pretend everything's fine. It's all an utter charade, John. Yes, it is. It is. Starmeroid won't leave. He's a WEF puppet fulfilling their 2030 Caligari plan. Maybe. Wasn't it kind of Maxwell to carry the can from Mountbatten? Mandelson and Clinton. But then again, she doesn't want to be found hanging in a cell. Yeah. The Prince Andrew thing. Does anyone get the Prince Andrew thing? I don't get it at all. And now the King's come out and had a go, hasn't he? And Prince William. What do they know? That? Because don't forget, these people know before us. So what's going on in the background? It is a bit like Johnny Rotten. Ever got the feeling you've been cheated or you've been conned, isn't it? Not telling us the truth. Right. Do you want me to carry on for a bit longer? If you want me to carry on, I need some people to put a few donations in. A couple of quid, a fiver here. Come on. Come on now. Click the little dollar sign and donate some cash. Keep independent broadcasting going. 41 likes. Fantastic audience numbers. Come on. Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. I stopped watching Talk when they got rid of Mike Graham and replaced him with Jeremy Kyle. I can't stand Kyle. He's so far up his own arse. Do you know what? I'll tell you something about Jeremy Kyle. He's a nice bloke. I think he's no good at talk radio. He was brilliant. His radio show, and then he's when he was on BRMB in the Midlands, and then when that became the Jeremy Vine. I love the Jeremy Vine show. All those people knew what they were letting themselves in for. It was a circus of oddities and freaks. I never really understood why they had a go at him. I never really understood that. But he's crap on the radio. He's just not. I can't explain it. It's like, John, you're not going to work again ever. Oh, go on, just say it. All right. Radio people can do telly on the side. Not as good as real good telly people. But telly people can hardly ever do radio. I don't know why. It's a different skill. Like just being able to talk. I'm talking about talk radio. It's about being able to just talk. And most of them can't do that. Have you ever noticed there's no script? Look, there's nothing. Nothing. What's on my desk? What's on your desk, Gaunty? Some tablets. My airbrush. My electric toothbrush my daughter got me. A packet of Pampers. I don't know why they're there. Oh, they're wet wipes. I definitely don't know why they're there. Stop it. Anyway, let's move on. This country is so depressing, says KB. Thanks. You are sitting at a comment to response time of near 10 minutes. Check your settings, sir. I don't even know what that means, UK video clips. You are sitting at a comment to response time of near 10 minutes. Check your settings. Well, maybe that's because there's loads of comments before yours. Well, explain that to me, because I literally don't understand what the hell you're on about. Patriot D1, he's just become a member. Thank you very much indeed. You can have this one for free, Gaunty. Mandelson is Guy Fawkes without the gunpowder. I don't know if I want it for free. Like the bollocks. Apparently, buy now, pay later. He has soared. I wonder why, because of the incompetence of this government. As for the Chancellor, who has crucified the country for more debt, they complain about the Tories, but this lot is increasing our national debt. That's a very good point, Terry. Thank you for making it. UK video clip says, refresh your chat. Yeah, but for refresh the chat, then people who've chatted just now, have just meant to comment, they'll go first. That's how it works, isn't it? I don't know what you're on about. Just wait your turn and you'll get on. We're all skint, John, says Simon ONG 5429. Yeah, I agree. Then he's having a go. Simon, and tell John how to refresh without a producer. I don't know what you mean. You tell me if you're so bloody clever. And look, he has a stay of execution until May. Then the party is truly over. Bill Chow, do you still have the Jaguar? Of course I don't. I've got nothing. I lost everything when I got ill. Lost the lot, mate. Nothing. Got an old beaten up Volvo. Hey, but I'm happy. Hi, mate. I'm a veteran. Bloody state of this country. All communist governments behave like this, says Robert Pottle. I think I probably agree with you. Where are we going next? Labour mayor helps hide his son's. No, I can't. I don't know which mayor that is, Tony. You can't just write up shit like that. Give me some more information. Craig Urquhart. Thank you, Craig. He's just whacked in a $5. Thank you very much indeed on a super sticker. You do that by being on YouTube and just clicking the little $sign. Thank you. That's some good money towards the show. Starmer just threatened the chickens with an election and put them all on the dole. They soon gave in. Well, that's exactly what I've been saying for about the last half hour. Thank you for that. What's this? Dazzle Wales. I'm doing the translation for you. He's just donated a £1.99, £2 super sticker. Thank you. Every penny counts. Keep talking, Johnny says. Starmer, fuck off. Thank you very much. L. Jones, it's not bollocks if you read it properly, my old fruit. Read what? I don't know what you're on about. Dylan Hughes. I guess wait a minute. He's donated a £5, but he has said this, and it's okay. It's legally all right. I guess the 5th rent boy who's been arrested over the firebombing of Starmer's homes will be swept under the carpet. God blesses you. Thank you, Dylan. Well, they're all in prison on remand, aren't they? But the court case comes up soon. You can't keep delaying it. I don't know what the truth is behind it at all. I take on board that they're allegedly all models. Some people say that's shorthand for being rent boys. I don't know. I don't know why they targeted Starmer. I do think if I was Starmer, I'd want it out in the open case as quickly as possible, because some of the things that are being said about him, especially on the internet, is completely outrageous. Do you agree with me? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. So, tell me. All right. So I think yesterday was an affront. This is me now winding up. So if you want to get in, you better get in now. And thank you for those who have donated. That's very kind of you. Don't make me have to beg so long next time. What was I going to say to you then? I think it was an affront to democracy. And I think the more they play this charade over the next few days, the worse it's going to get. And I just think the only way to clear this out is to have a general election. I think Reform would win that. I'm not sure they're going to be good as a government. I hope they are, because they're very inexperienced. I like the way that Kemi Badenoch is talking at the moment. I think at least the Conservatives are coming back and saying something. I know you're going to say, what about Ben Habib and the rest of it? Yeah, good. But he's not ready, is he? But we can't carry on the way we are. We're the laughing stock of the world. And Starmer is completely deluded. I wonder if he actually does believe, well, I'm brilliant, me. I pulled that off. I've never lost a battle I've gone into. Forgetting the winter fuel allowance and the other 14 things that he cocked up. He probably thinks he won yesterday. He didn't win. Blackmail's not winning. Scaring the living daylights. I mean, it's one step up from what that bloke, the Asian lad in EastEnders, when he hung that kid off by his ankles off the railway bridge in the square, isn't it? What Starmer's done is the political equivalent of that. My mate Banger used to do that in Mr. George's at Park Lane. If you misbehaved, he'd hang you off there, hold you by your ankles. So 15 foot wouldn't kill you if you fell. And some people did, but not kill them, but they fell off. But it's kind of pantomime, isn't it? And that's kind of what Starmer did yesterday. You're all going to be on the dole. I made you. I can break you. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? It's pathetic. It's kind of cartoon gangster sort of style. But I wonder whether he actually thinks he's done a good job. This is a nice one. Niven Casey says, instead of Hitler, how about Starmer? The last 10 days. Yeah, in his bunker. Annette, look, payday Friday, we'd planned the arsehole had gone party. Looks like we may have to wait a bit longer. I'm a bit pissed off about it all. Yeah, I can understand that. He promised them an early election, says Craig Urquhart. No, stop it. Labour can't call an early election. They're still trying to find a way of cancelling the general election. Yeah, they're very good at cancelling, aren't they? They're not so good at saying, okay, we better have one. Because like I say, if Starmer's so convinced his vision of the United Kingdom is so good, he'll get elected, won't he? Stands to reason. It stands to no. I don't know. So that's interesting. Someone's just written, Starmer has said he will never walk away. There's a few people in this country who'd like to make sure that's stop it. I'm not condoning violence. You know, he never walks away. That's what he said to them. You know, if we give in now, that's wrong. What we have to do is follow through the plan. But then everybody tells you, all the political analysts, that's the problem. He got into number 10 and he said, right then, what are we going to do? And they said, no, that's your job. Haven't you got a plan? And no, he hadn't. And that Morgan McSweeney who he sacked. And have you noticed today, he sacked 2 or 3 other people. Some civil servant guy's gone as well. There'll be hardly anybody left in there. It's just him and his wife not talking to each other. Allegedly. I don't know. Maybe this will bring their relationship closer. I hope so. Don't wish the man any ill. Sorry, I got my tongue stuck there. Anyway, so that's me done. I'm off. I'll probably play this out again at 6. And I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll go back to the normal time tomorrow at 6 o'clock. But I just wanted to get it off my chest. I was just sitting here getting angrier and frustrated. Tony Whitworth, you've said some nonsense things today, but this is a very good one. Starmer will never walk away. Dead right. He'll run. Yeah, like he did in Southport. Good point. Nice one to end on. All right, that's me done. Now, remember, if you got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them. And don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you then. Join Jon Gaunt TV, so you got the whole archive. That was the other thing I was going to say. 43 likes. That's good news. Tell all your mates. See you later. Tell all your mates. Where's that come from? Oh, I've been watching that guy on YouTube. He's some butcher down in Surrey. And whenever he does his butchery, I'm quite fascinated with the way he cuts up the meat. I don't know what it is. And he also says at the end, tell your friends. He's brilliant. He should be on an advert. Anyway, that's me done. See you soon. If you got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget you tell them you love them. See ya.